Hi, this is Mrs. Webster. I wanted to take a minute to introduce our home study with a menu option. To access your home study assignments, you're going to go to www.jcsict.com and click on the Home Study tab at the top of the page. Once you're on the Home Study page, you'll see that it's organized by grade level and that all of the home study assignments are listed in links below each grade level. Today we're going to take a look at third grade. So right here I see the home study. I also see a link to all the supplemental worksheets I'm going to need, and there's also a link to the September newsletter. Let's take a look at the home study. When I click on the home study page, I see that the due date is listed at the top of the page. I also see there's some directions about how to fill out the assignment log. There's some directions about the activity menu and how it works. And then there's some suggested topics that the teacher thought might be something we want to consider when we're doing our menu selections. When we look at the assignment log, we'll see that the log is divided up by each home study day. So on this home study day, this is the math assignment, the reading assignment, there's the menu selection, and then the teacher would like for the student to respond to an email. Notice in the math assignment that there's both some IXL work that the teacher would like and also some worksheets. Those worksheets can be accessed through those additional links that were on the home study website. When you get down here to the menu selection, you'll see that there's space for you to write the choice that you made for that day from the menu. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the menu looks like. If you scroll down, you'll come to our home study activity menu, and you'll see that there are lots of open-ended choices on the menu. The idea is that we wanted to have students be able to choose a lot more about what it is that they're learning and choose things that meet both their academic levels and their interest levels. Here's the great thing about menu items is that you don't necessarily need to produce any sort of product to go along with the activity menu. So for example, if you spend your day working on running a 5K, so you're training and you're doing different races and you're working on agility and you are just preparing for that 5K run, your child does not need to then go back home and write about all of the work that they did. The fact that they just were active and learning is enough. We're really trusting you as the home study parent to oversee the activities that are going on and make sure that the time is spent in a meaningful way. Remember, 30% of your child's education is in your hands, so make sure that they're making good use of this time. The intention with the activity menus is to incorporate more voice and choice into the home study. We really want to provide you as the home study parent options for meeting your child's academic level and their interest level. We also wanted to make sure that students realize that learning happens everywhere and that they don't have to be inside of a traditional classroom or at home at the kitchen table for learning to happen. And therefore, we wanted to give students the opportunity to go out of their classrooms and out of their homes and experience learning opportunities. You'll notice too that on the assignment log, there's a place for you to write down whatever selection that you made that day from the menu. And there's no other requirements. You don't need to submit a paper or a poster or any other project to go along with that menu selection. We're really trusting you as parents to oversee the facilitation of that activity and make sure that it's time well spent and that it's purposeful and meaningful to your child's education. So when making your menu selection, there's a couple options that you may want to take into consideration. So one is you may want to choose different menu options each week, and there are lots of them to choose from. So maybe one week you're doing something that's language arts oriented, maybe another week you are working on something that's travel oriented, and you can go through the list here and choose something else different each week. Another option would be to work on the same thing week after week. That would be good if you were working on maybe creating a movie or working on writing a story, something where it would be important to work on a step of the process each week and then ultimately have a product at the end. Now, as I mentioned before, students are not required to turn in anything to represent their activity work, but if the student is working on something that yields a product, like a movie or a piece of writing, then by all means, we would encourage them to share that with their teacher and their classes. Another option would be that you could work under a theme. So maybe you're working under the theme of pumpkins. So each week you're going to make a different menu selection, but it's all going to be related to the theme of pumpkins. So maybe one week you're going to the library and you're checking out books on pumpkins and you're doing a lot of research. Maybe the week after that you're making an art project that's related to pumpkins. And maybe the following week you're actually going and visiting a pumpkin patch and seeing how pumpkins grow and their different stages of their life cycle, and maybe talking to a farmer. But every activity option that you do is related to one theme. The fourth option would be for you to do the same thing together as a family. This way you can choose a menu option, and if you have a third grader, a fourth grader, and a fifth grader, you can go together as a family and all share in the same learning experience. I hope that answers some of your questions about how to use the home study menu. And as always, if something comes up, please email your teacher or myself and we'd be happy to help you out. Thank you and have a great home study day.